He's like, yeah, but he has a blue light burger.
Welcome to this week's exciting episode of Enough to be Dangerous. We've got the entire gang here to entertain you and enlighten. And let's just...
Hi.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings.
Hi.
Joey, how's that weather?
Yeah, but he has a blue light burger.
Welcome to this week's exciting
What-
episode
what-
of Enough
what's
to be
happening
Dangerous. We've got the entire...
Oops, sorry.
Somebody's, yeah. I'm like,
I gotta
what the-
shut that off.
I'm like, are we in a time loop?
No, it's my routing on my Go XLR.
It's funny.
Okay, it's turned off.
There we go. Tom drinking the coffee like an old man, like old Chinaman.
Hold
Oh,
on, let me get my
I
pinky
tried
out.
Mike's drink.
Wait, hold on a second. Back up. Let's rewind. Michael.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying Michael. Pick up what you just picked up.
Country time?
Oh,
Oh,
so
what
we're
is
no
that?
longer doing the hint. What did
Hint's
they
the
call you?
Brought to you by future sponsor Hint. Cracking of the bottle.
I don't even want them to be
Listen.
our sponsor.
They're pissing me off at this point. Like,
I hate it.
how come we haven't gone
Horrible.
viral yet?
What? Horrible.
You're ridiculous.
No.
All right, so Mike, let me ask you
Where?
this: what is your appeal to the hint water?
I just like the hint of flavor in it. I like the flavor. Here's the thing, real talk. I like
talk.
the smart water flavored waters, but this
Like
is
these?
a lot cheaper. No, the flavored ones.
I know, but your smart water is the brand. Okay.
Yeah, but smart water has flavored waters as well.
I've seen them, and they're just like hint. They're not. They're
Yeah.
like very watered down Kool-Aid. But if you just
100%.
like that hint of it, then that's fine. That's
Hence the name Hint.
So I got
I
3
get it.
bottles this weekend at Big
What
Lots.
flavor?
Cherry, watermelon, and
Cherry.
yep.
I just threw. I
Not
just
enough
killed my
flavor for me.
watermelon one.
I need
They
flavor.
don't really don't. I bought 3 of them at Big Lots, by the way.
Yeah,
and
and,
they were
that's
the-
a good sign of what?
I feel like you missed the point of the name. Hint.
Yeah, it's-
I get the name.
We did,
It's a
but we were
hint
trying to support
of
you.
flavor.
We were saying, can we get on the Dynas train of getting
I
hint
get
to
it, but you
support it?
can't go talk trash about our sponsors.
I can if the sponsor is that one, not actually sponsoring us, and 2, if the product is not good.
Listen, those are technicalities that we're going to work out at some point.
Technicality,
They want a drink called Blatant, not Hint.
right?
Yeah. They
This
want
is-
Kool-Aid.
No, not
Facts.
Kool-Aid, because Kool-Aid has sugar in it. Mine does not.
Tom's
Crystal
drinking Rad Dad.
Light.
This is
I'm down
tea.
with the Crystal Light.
Hot.
Crystal Light is blatant.
Oh, don't
Hey,
get it wrong. I go through a gallon of Crystal Light a day.
okay.
Dr.
This
Pepper
is-
Zero.
Cherry vanilla Coke
Yeah,
Zero.
that one's really good too. That cherry vanilla is phenomenal. I love it.
You do know that's a reissue, right? They had cherry vanilla like years
Well,
ago.
it's the zero. It's better. A lot better.
Oh, so it's new and improved, but the same thing.
Well, it's the zero sugar brand. It's the flavor is much better.
Okay.
It's probably got too much flavor. I tend to like the stuff that's just got a hint of
A
flavor.
hint.
Oh, see what he did there? Oh,
No, I don't get it. Can
Oh.
you explain?
that deserves a sound and everything, because
Too late.
I can't find it. I can't.
It's way
Hey.
too
So
late.
how we doing? How's everybody doing?
I was just gonna talk about some shows I tried watching because I feel like I'm not holding up
Struggling.
I'm not holding up commitments of watching shows, and I guess it is the off season, but here's what I've
is.
tried to watch in the last week.
What
a
up,
show-
Jax?
A show called
I was about to
Justice
say,
Served,
is Joey giving a hug to himself?
a show called Keep Breathing, a show called Purple Heart, I tried to watch Boo Bitch. I did watch one episode.
Couldn't
I
watch
tried to
it.
get back into Umbrella Academy.
Oh God.
First season
Control
was
Z.
great. After that, it's horrible.
So I've just been
Wait.
jumping from show to show.
What was the last one you said?
Well, Umbrella Academy and then Control Z. That's a Spanish, like Spain.
Yeah,
Spanish.
it's like 3%.
Nothing's grabbing me though.
I'm struggling with that right now. I watched Gray Man this weekend.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yo, I tried watching that, and I
You
fell
didn't
asleep.
enjoy that? I thought that was
I fell
clever.
asleep.
It was
That's
okay.
actually one of the better. That's one of the better Netflix. Listen, Netflix,
C minus, C plus.
for the things that on a Netflix scale for movies is kind of a B. For Netflix movies, they don't do real well with their movies.
Agree.
I'll put it to you this way. I started watching it and decided to go watch the last episode of The Ranch because I forgot how it ended. I literally just stopped watching it and said, you know what, what's the last part of The Ranch? And then what's the old dude? He's on 1883.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah. So then I was like, hey, let me see what Sam Elliott's got. And I watched these like recaps of 1883. I think I'm going to start watching it.
Well, I'm going to be talking about that tonight. So,
Because I honestly didn't like it.
1883. You got into that too, Joey?
oh, I finished it.
I haven't finished it.
Yellowstone.
I'm not going to watch Yellowstone, though.
I'm telling you right now,
man.
Yellowstone's
That's a miss on
second
your
favorite
part.
series ever.
Yellowstone
That's
is
a miss
too
on your part.
dramatic.
Right next to Firefly for me.
Really? Yellowstone?
Number
Bro,
2.
how are you gonna knock it when you haven't seen it?
I've watched one episode or two, 1.5 episodes.
Stop it.
And-
Look, I watched the first one. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I was
1932,
like,
baby.
yeah.
It's going to be mind blowing. You know
Yeah.
who's in it?
Yes.
You said 1932?
They got a pretty
So
stacked cast in that too. Isn't it Harrison Ford? Who is it? It's
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Is it Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So I would watch Yellowstone before watching 1883.
Nope. I want the origin story first.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Honestly.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
No, you really don't.
Yeah, I
It
do.
makes more sense after Yellowstone.
Yeah, you're an expert
Look,
in
I
nothing.
understand that. No.
Part of this show is enough.
The videos
to be
that I
dangerous.
watched.
You're not being very dangerous right
Look,
now.
the reason why I watched it is they said first of all, they said technically you don't have to watch Yellowstone before this.
No, you
But
don't.
all the stories, all the storylines, plot lines, and everything that are in Yellowstone, you see how they go back to 1883, and you're like, oh, this is why they ended up here and not in this other place. I'm like, cool, I like that aspect, but I want to watch the old Western first. I
Yeah, but
like
that's not
the
the only
old
part
Western
that-
movies.
That
I
it's like watching Top Gun Maverick first and then going back and watching Top Gun.
not even close
It's exact.
How do you know?
because it's not an origin story. Top Gun Maverick is not an origin story. That's a follow.
That's what I'm saying.
1883
There's
is
so
the
many
origin
parts in
story of it.
Maverick that give you the feel goods because you saw Top Gun. There's so many things in 1883 that give you the feel goods from Yellowstone because you
What?
saw it.
A puppy gives me the feel good.
Yank,
I'll just look at
yank.
a puppy and not watch any of them.
But there's no puppy here. You're not petting some furry little critter.
But
I'm telling you
rubbing the
right
furry
now,
wall.
it's
Rubbing
worth
furry
the
wall.
watch. It's phenomenal.
Well,
I'll
maybe
give it a
listen,
shot.
if he
I'll give
won't
it a
watch
shot.
Yellowstone, maybe if he watches 1883, maybe then that'll inspire him to watch Yellowstone.
Exactly. That's
It's a
what I'm
possibility,
saying.
But they're totally different.
Look, I like Sam Elliott. I don't like what's his face.
Kevin Costner? Are you kidding?
Alexa,
I don't like
stop.
Kevin Costner.
What?
Look. I watched, like I said,
Is
I
it
got
because
to
he's an
episode
older white
1.5
male?
the first one, and I didn't really like it. I didn't like his character in it. I mean, look, man, just say what it. I'm
His
speaking the
character's-
truth.
I mean, you don't
I'm
like
speaking
mafia
the truth.
movies, so I would get it. Because he's like a country mafia boss.
Exactly.
You're trying to convince Magix of anything? I don't
I
know.
know. Listen, at this point, Joey, you
I'm
gotta
gonna finish
understand.
watching
he,
Banshee
once,
before.
I
once
know,
he
I
gets
know, I know.
dug in on a topic, even if it's like, hey, this color is blue, the whole scientific community color is like, this color is blue. He's gonna be like, no, it's white.
No, I get it.
He's
But
not coming off his stance.
I'm gonna
just
finish
for the sake of
watching-
sticking to it.
Right.
It's not even for the sake of it.
I mean,
It's
don't get me
it's a
wrong.
game.
1883 is mind blowing.
Yeah, it is.
It was a show.
The
Oh,
first
like The
episode,
Wire.
maybe even the second, could be parts of it a little slow, so you got to give it a little love.
I mean,
But
look how long
in
I
there.
put off watching Stranger Things. Oh, that's one for Mike.
No,
Look how
that's
long I put
two.
off Stranger
That's two. You weren't paying
This
attention.
shit is boring me at this point.
Hey,
No.
we started
Have
off on
anybody watched
Netflix
Banshee?
though.
Did anybody watch Banshee?
is it?
Banshee? I watched
Do you guys
Banshee.
keep
Back to
track
you.
of my yawns? Is that the game that we're
Yeah,
playing here?
we
No, we
we
track
got
everyone's
we got a
yawns.
counter.
Wait, Banshee? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I had
Cinemax.
never.
It's, a it's an older show. It came out around, I think, the same time as The Wire. It's mid 2000s, but I'd seen it. I never got into it, and I was kept getting these TikTok bits out of it, and I was like, oh, show looks a little interesting,
ain't
better
that
than the
old.
trailer than they
Okay.
showed. I started watching it, and I was like, all right, I'm 6 episodes in. Same thing with 1883. I literally just saw a bunch of TikTok videos and YouTube clips or Facebook feeds of clips of 1883.
That's
that were better than the
2013.
trailer.
2013.
Okay. And so that made me want to watch 1883. That hasn't occurred with Yellowstone yet. So,
Did you mention that Banshee, the star of Banshee, is Homelander?
oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's Homelander. And he's way shorter in Banshee than he is in Homelander.
He grew in 7 years.
Very possible. Mike is doing speech to text or something. He's reading.
No, I forgot the posts that were live right now. So
Hey, speaking of Netflix not having good shows, late in June they laid off 300 people, and then that followed the previous month where they laid off 150, and they're thinking there's probably going to be another round because of they're like starting to now really count their subscriptions or whatever. I don't know how that works because you got to just count the money you get. I don't know
Yeah.
why you'd count a subscription if you're not getting money for that subscription, but
because everybody shares their passwords.
Everybody
Right.
shares a password.
so
yeah.
if you're not getting money for the subscription, I don't think it's a subscription. But
It's
yeah,
not.
they've got like 13 million users, but 7 people pay for the subscription.
right, we all
That's
share
the same thing
we
cable
all share the
companies do.
same account.
So to Paramount Plus, to give them credit for another great show, Mayor of Kingstown.
Kingstown. I think I saw that.
Oh, you
Or
didn't
Tom,
like
where were
it,
you
Mike?
going with this? I feel like we interrupt. We do this to Tom a lot. Tom, where were you going with that?
No, I was going to say, and now Warner, Warner's taking over. Well, Discovery Channel is like taking over Warner HBO Max, and now they're announcing some layoffs. Netflix and Warner both announcing a lot of projects being canceled, upcoming shows. And then, just made me think about the fact that you mentioned, and I mean, we all know that Netflix movies, Netflix shows, a lot of them are just filler. I mean, you're not going to sit down and like we're not jumping in here talking about Netflix shows of how great they were. Maybe Stranger Things, and that's
Every once
It's
in
a-
a while you get something.
yeah, it's a very short list, but
The Adam Project.
I thought Stranger Things was horrible.
Yeah, I'm not super stoked on. I'll watch it.
Ozark?
Again, pot
Ozark.
committed. Ozark was dope.
Yeah.
Adam Project was probably the best Netflix movie.
That's been out for a minute.
I mean,
I
it
think
hasn't
there were-
been that long. It's been less than a year.
Within a
It came
year.
out 2022.
No. What I'm saying is that was Amazon's little dab of like, bing. Here's a little freshness, because before that they didn't have a lot of good shows out. Like you were saying, they didn't
talking
have a
about?
lot of good original movies that came out.
I don't
We're
think you
talking
meant
about-
to say Amazon.
Yeah, I think you meant Netflix, right?
Yeah, I did. Didn't I say Netflix?
said
No, you said
Amazon.
Amazon.
But
Yeah, that's why
I
you
knew
confused
that's
me.
what you meant.
My bad.
been
Yeah,
sniffing.
Adam
Netflix didn't have
Project
a lot
was
coming
phenomenal.
out, and then they dropped Adam Projects. It's like they dabble the good stuff in every couple of months, just so that people that are paying for the subscriptions keep paying for it.
Yeah, so I
don't
mean,
know.
why do you think so I guess during the pandemic, everybody was just picking up every streaming service. and you're pretty much just stuck. You're watching whatever. But now that things are getting back to somewhat normal or whatever new normal, is that why now we're seeing these subscription services now get a little more cutthroat? Like they got to pull back on some of these projects because they know in advance, okay, this probably ain't going to be a project. If people aren't forced to sit in front of their TV and stream all day, I
don't think it's limited to the entertainment industry though. I think I saw a stupid news story where they were like, schools are struggling because of kids not being in classrooms the last 2 years and kids are behind. Well, no shit. Like, that's shocking to me that we're just now coming to that conclusion. Kids are falling behind because they haven't been in school the last 2 years. That's like mind blowing, right? But even if you look at, frankly, the state of the economy, I think inflation is a big piece of that. I think a lot of companies over-indexed. I think the people got a little bit confident and cocky about the job market. Now you're starting to see, and even companies getting a little confident and cocky and over-indexed and hired everybody up. And now it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Pump the brakes. This inflation is a real thing, and I think that it's impacted things. Like, there's just not that same flow of money that had happened from 2 years ago.
I think people took the coronavirus, the pandemic, as a bubble. Like, I honestly see it as that was the second .com bubble. Like,
it is.
Everybody's like, oh my god, like, oh, everybody's going home. We don't know if we're gonna make it. We don't know when we're gonna go back to normal. So Paramount was giving free subscriptions, Netflix, Amazon, all of those, and people were just eating them up because they didn't know what was gonna happen. What's gonna happen if the Fox News channel isn't there anymore? People got to work there, and granted, that's a boomer mentality that there's somebody in a station actually working and broadcasting that, and it's all digital. We know that, but our parents didn't know that. So yeah, they were buying it up, and everybody was being given these great opportunities at heavy discounts, and now it's not so bad.
Parents
we're
are so
kind of
dumb.
back to a new normal with our face masks. And
I think what you're also
now
starting to see is the people spent so much time these last few years biting the hand that feeds you. Like, a lot of employees had a lot to say about what it was like to work at Netflix, and now Netflix is like, kick rocks. And
yeah,
I
think they're also saying,
look,
a lot of people realize Netflix doesn't have all that great of stuff. Amazon doesn't have all that great of stuff.
Netflix doesn't have to have a ton of great content.
No,
the reality is they don't have to be. They don't have to have the great content. The problem is they're starting to lose a little bit of this streaming wars because they're not picking up like the content that people want to see. For instance, Office now is actually on their own streaming service with their parent company. But those are the things that really propelled Office off to propelled Netflix off to great places. If you wanted to go watch any episode of Friends, you log on to Netflix. You want to go watch any episode of Office, you log on to Netflix. Well, now, Seinfeld's trash.
Netflix created a giant.
They all went. Well, they did.
Well, actually, HBO started it when HBO went streaming only with HBO Go or HBO Now, and then Netflix was there, and then they said, all right, well, HBO can't get all the products or all the properties. Let's Netflix get it. And now contracts are worn out from Netflix's original. Yeah, exactly. So now Warner's taking all their material, CBS is taking all their material, Fox is taking all their stuff, Sony's doing all their stuff, and they're saying, why should we license it out to you? You've proven that we can start up our own streaming service and people are willing to pay for it as long as we keep it affordable. More people are willing to pay $5.99 for 3 okay materials like Paramount, Warner Brothers, and DC than pay $20 a month for Netflix, and then your stuff is going away after 3 months, and it's not going to come back. That's what people are seeing. Is they're seeing that these big powerhouses of the early streaming days aren't the big powerhouses anymore for the
Which
content they
one,
want, like Mike said.
Which one's on the chopping
Friends is on
block for
Peacock.
anybody? Does anybody have a streaming service on the chopping block right now?
Yeah, I don't do Hulu.
I don't have Hulu either.
I just signed up for Hulu last week. Oh, there is a dope show
Somebody
on
wanna
Hulu that
share?
we just got done watching. There is a
What
dope
show?
show on Hulu. We'll come back to it. Remind me. If honestly, of all the streaming services that if I wish I could cut, but I don't have an independent subscription to, it would be Amazon Prime. Like Prime for me is
See, that's the benefit of Prime.
My
Prime
next
you're
one
not
would
paying for.
actually be my next one would actually be Apple.
Are you paying for Apple?
I pay for Prime because I
Right.
use Amazon for so much stuff. If I were actually paying, just like my buddy Andrew pays for Prime right now, just to watch that. Not Jack Reacher. What was the show? Terminal List. He got it just for Terminal List. Once they're done with it, they're cutting it. They only got it just to watch that show. But I'd say probably Apple. Ted Lasso's really the only thing that I enjoy on Apple.
What about the Jason Momoa one?
Yeah,
The
see,
Blind, the Sea.
Couldn't get into it. Thought
I
it was
liked the
terrible.
first season of it.
Nah, I just
What about
couldn't deal with it.
The Foundation?
Couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I
That
couldn't get
wasn't
into it
for me.
either.
I hate. I
Foundation's
cannot
like
stand.
Dune.
This is
That's
why
why
I
I
didn't
thought
like
you guys
Stranger
would love
Things.
it.
I hate stories that bounce around time frames, where if you're not paying attention to what's happening, you get lost in the story. You're like, wait, what time frame are they in?
Like Stranger Things.
Exactly, like Stranger Things. That's what I
How is Stranger
disliked
Things
about
about time frame?
the last season.
It's set in the 80s.
We just
last
talked about
season.
the whole thing. A couple month ago, maybe more. I don't know.
Terrence was probably not on camera with us when I was complaining about it.
Yeah, I didn't watch Stranger Things just because I'm not a big fan of the 80s, but
I love the 80s.
I don't
just
see
can't
I don't
stand
see
Stranger
how
Things.
I don't see how there's a time. I don't see any time loops or time differences on Stranger Things ever.
Did you do
Did you
season
watch?
4?
Did you watch
Yeah.
the whole series?
I've watched all of it.
There
The
was a
whole
whole
second
few-
season was him going back to 1's early days, 1 and 11's early days, and then they jumped forward, and then they were back to the early days of 1 and 11, and they jumped forward. The whole final season was the whole last season A side was them bouncing. See, you didn't even that, and right there's my point. You
You're
clearly
talking
didn't
about
understand it.
you're talking about the bouncing back. They're not bouncing back and forth. She's in a mental state. She's reliving a dream. She's lucid dreaming basically.
But that's
They're
bouncing
still in
back
one
and
time
forth.
period.
He doesn't like that.
Not arguing about this piece anymore. You're already
Okay.
entrenched. You're entrenched in your argument. No point.
I'm
even
not
going
a
down that
look.
path.
Look, the only
So-
the only time variable or TVA
But he already
occurrence
stopped this.
is the fact that she's using a rain mixer at her prom dance. That
stopped
mixer
this
did not
already.
exist.
You're
Yeah,
gone.
but Tom, what about you? Which one would you drop?
Well, I've never paid for Apple. I got it, when you get a new phone or something, you get it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. I never renewed it to where I was ever paying for it.
Yeah.
The only show I ever watched on it was C. And that was back then it was just season 1. It was
Yeah.
I liked season 1.
I liked season 1. Season 2 got boring.
But if I had to pick one, and I have a lot though, so I guess it would be pretty easy. Like I could easily chop like AMC Plus. I could chop like Peacock. I could chop. I can't even keep track of everything that I have, but I could probably
you
chop
need a
something
Fire
and not know
Stick.
it. No, I have.
I could chop Peacock.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't
I
do.
don't-
Peacock's too important in this house.
Really?
What do you watch on Well, do you have regular cable?
No.
Oh, well, then that's a different story. I got cable and every freaking streaming
Oh.
service.
Yeah, I don't do. Love Island for one thing.
That's on Peacock?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought that was CBS.
Peacock.
CBS
think
is
it
the
is,
Challenge and Survivor.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
always
but-
thought it was CBS too, but it's on Peacock. They might have the
Interesting.
rights to that show. I don't know how it works.
Isn't 1883 on Peacock?
No.
18.
Oh,
No,
is it?
Yellowstone. Yellowstone. One of.
Yellowstone's on Paramount.
Okay,
Yeah.
then 1883 is on Peacock.
Yeah. 'Cause I thought that was
1883 is on
weird.
Paramount.
No, 18. They're not on the
No,
same
it's on
network.
Peacock.
That was very strange.
I watched 1883 on Paramount.
It's not on there anymore.
It's on Peacock now.
Are you sure?
I'm
Look it up.
100%.
No,
I'm
because
about to.
the only time I opened up Peacock recently was to go watch a 30-second clip of The Office that I was told to go watch where they were making fun of HR.
Oh yeah, but Danny watches the hell out of Peacock and our Discovery because she likes all that doctor and crime stuff.
1883 on Paramount.
It's Peacock.
I'm on Paramount.
It would not. It did not.
I'm
When
on
I
the
searched Paramount,
app right
I'm telling you,
now.
when I searched it, I can search it right now.
Look. All right, you go ahead and search it.
Yeah, I also found it on Peacock, not on Paramount. I assumed it would be on Paramount because that's what I'm watching. I'm watching Yellowstone on. I'm watching Yellowstone on Paramount, so I figured why wouldn't 1883 be on the same network? But I
Do
didn't
any of
find it
you
there.
have Hulu?
I do.
No.
I have Hulu
Okay.
Live. I'd have all the. Yeah.
It's
Dope
on there now.
show.
It was not there. It's got to be new, then, because it was not there.
So Yellowstone is not on Paramount.
Oh, then it's the other way around.
1883 is. Yellowstone is on. Oh, wait. You know what? I know. It's okay. Yellowstone is on Paramount if you have a cable provider that has a Paramount channel, and there's only like 2 of them that have the actual Paramount channel like as a channel number. As I remember when that came out, customers used to call in about that. Outside of that, you got to watch it on
So
Peacock. or
Yellowstone
something
is
else.
on Peacock then, and 1883 is on Paramount.
Correct.
Because I watched Yellowstone on Peacock.
This is weird.
Who's got this dope show that Renee found because everybody was commenting on TikTok? It's called The Bear. And if you've ever worked in the food restaurant, which I know
Yes.
at least 3 of in the food business, it's
wanna watch
really
that.
dope.
I was a
Huh?
cook on a boat for many years.
With
I
Bobby
wanna watch
Lee.
Bobby
Oh.
Lee. Bobby
had
Lee is
nothing
not
to
in
do
this
with Bobby.
show, but it's basically this James Beard award-winning chef that leaves New
called?
York. His brother, the Bear.
Bear,
Called The Bear.
I think
The
I started
Bear.
that.
The
And
Bears.
it goes back to Chicago. His brother owned a original Chicago beef, like the beef sandwiches. He kills himself, so he goes back to take over the family restaurant. And it's labeled a comedy. It's not super funny, but it's a pretty
Dark
compelling
funny.
story. There's some funny parts in it, but it's
Have you watched all of it?
done. Watched the whole season over the course of 2 nights.
Damn,
How
that's a
many
commitment.
episodes?
8 episodes.
Hey, it's
like
short, okay.
Okay.
yeah, they're short.
Yeah, I just saw the
But-
funny parts of it, and I was like, "Hey, I know what that guy's talking
He
about."
did accidentally roofie his cousin's kid's birthday party. That was actually pretty funny, and the cousin was like, he's like, "Oh God, please," because his cousin's a gangster, and he's like, "Please don't kill me." He's like, "What'd you do?" He says, "We dropped a bottle of Valium
Penn
in the we dropped a bottle of Valium in the fruit punch." and he looks, and every single kid in the party's passed out in the lawn, and he looks at you.
Dig it.
I'm kind of into it. So that was kind of a good moment.
Hey, are you going to do a review of the Andor trailer?
Ooh. Hey, first of all, let me just see where your head is on this one. I feel like you're very anti-Star Wars right now, just because you're part of that anti-woke crowd.
No, it's
But-
not that I'm anti-Star Wars. It's that I want to hold Star Wars the creative team accountable for putting out good content and not just garbage. But I do
What
love
is-
Star
what-
Wars.
what- just give it a grade. What's your grade on it?
Of what?
I haven't even seen it.
The Star Wars Andor trailer.
Oh,
Play
no,
it.
I mean, it looks good, but I don't, so this will be something I'm totally naive of. I don't know anything about Andor.
Did you watch Rogue One, the movie?
Yeah, I did.
So it's that guy.
Okay.
It's that guy, and it's basically a prequel to Rogue One.
Oh, I'll probably love it then.
Yeah, it's pre Star Wars: A New Hope. It's it's kind of the beginning of the end of the Empire, like where the rebellion's starting to rise up. It's kind of in those early days of the rebellion rising up, and starting to gain a little bit of momentum. And I think it's gonna have like 12 episodes, so it's gonna be like it's either 12 or 18 episodes. Like it's like a full season of, not these little micro seasons.
So it's a Disney Plus show.
So it's a full 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does
mean, you
it
still
end?
like-
So would Rogue One be like kind of the conclusion of that kind of?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you
It-
still liked Obi-Wan, right, Tom? It wasn't your favorite.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
Okay.
oh man, I spent all weekend playing Fallen Order or Jedi Order or whatever the name of that game is.
The old
Star
game?
Wars Fallen Order. Yeah.
And you had
I played
fun
the
with-
whole game. Played the whole game and finished it.
I wish you played an online game. I'd get whatever you played, just to
I
play.
mean, you could play Battlefront 2. I've got that.
I own it.
I'd hop on and play Battlefront with you. I'm not
Okay.
any good at it.
I'm horrible at it. I don't ever play it.
But playing Fallen Order this weekend gave me even more appreciation for Obi-Wan.
You mean
Wait,
Order of the
regular
Jedi,
Obi-Wan
right?
or by Obi-Wan? Which
Oh, the
Obi-Wan?
Series Obi-Wan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the new by Obi-Wan.
How do you feel
I'm-
about that,
I'm-
Mike?
Like I said, until I've listened to or read the book, I'm not buying the hype.
He ain't
You're not
buying the
buying
buy.
Which, by the way, it is my next book. I got about an hour and a half left in the current book that I'm in. Then I'll be getting into that book. So more to come on that.
He told me to reach in his pocket to grab his lightsaber. And what I thought was his lightsaber was not his lightsaber. But I still grabbed it anyway.
I don't get it? Can you explain?
It was actually not a lightsaber. It was a banana.
I don't get it.
You don't know if they have bananas in Star Wars.
That's true.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Someone will have to look that up in Star Wars lore.
If there's bananas,
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one?
I've never seen
Have you
one.
ever
mean,
read
in
about
my-
one, Mike?
In my 100 some odd books that I've read, or listened to, I should say, I have yet to come across a banana.
I
Maybe
think
it's
there'd be a
called
banana.
something differently. Maybe
I
it's
think
got a
we would
different
have
name.
seen a banana or heard about one if they were there.
Banana. Sorry,
In all
the Minion
fairness, there
song
are
pops in my
fruits it,
head.
but they don't call them by their.
Earthly names.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I am
but
looking
so
forward to Andor though. Andor could actually end up being a series that steals the spotlight.
Over Mandalorian?
Yeah. I mean, look at what Rogue One, I don't care what anybody says. Rogue One is the best produced, best acted movie in
It was pretty damn
Star
good.
Wars.
I would agree
I
with
agree.
that.
It's pretty damn good.
It's
Oh,
phenomenal.
don't ask me.
You didn't see Rogue One yet?
I've seen it.
Oh.
What was your opinion of it? You didn't have an opinion?
Look, when it comes to Star Wars movies, Empire Strikes Back I've seen more than once. Return of the Jedi, maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't really rewatch a whole lot of Star Wars movies.
Those
On the other hand, I will rewatch Star Trek Nemesis or Star Trek movies all the time. Star Wars doesn't have that much of a... Star Wars has a nostalgic thing because of growing up, and I had the little action figures and all that stuff, and I had the Hans.
Sorry.
That was well timed.
The best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Star
So,
Trek.
anyway, I don't really go back and watch a whole lot of them.
Wait, which Star Treks though? The regular timeline or the Kelvin timeline?
Honestly, you know what? I've
know what
rewatched
that
the Kelvin
means.
timelines many times now, except for the Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan I've only watched like twice, but the
How about
original
Parasite?
Star Trek,
Which
and,
is probably my favorite Star Trek movie is Wrath of Khan.
No, I'm not talking about the original Wrath of Khan.
Something
I'm
with
talking
the
about
Kelvin
the Kelvin
timeline.
with Doctor Strange as
Chris
Khan.
Pine. Yeah, Chris Pine.
Oh.
The original one, Wrath of Khan, yeah, I'll watch that. I was looking for sound bites from that. Yeah, I've watched the Kelvin timeline multiple times, except for the.
I don't even know what
Wrath
the
of Khan
Kelvin
one.
timeline is.
Now that I know, the Chris Pine Captain Kirk.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh.
I enjoyed those. I mean, I've seen each of them maybe twice. But
The
I
J.J.
enjoyed-
Abrams edition.
Right. And there's going to be a 4th one. I'm surprised, but you know. hope
I
that
thought
works out.
I thought that's been in the works for
Been in
like
the
a
works.
decade now.
It's good. It's great. It's gaining a lead. It's
How,
catching up. to
oh,
Top
what are they
Gun
doing?
2
They're doing
kinda
a
time frame.
Kickstarter or a GoFundMe for it,
I don't know, but it's right up there with the whole. It's taken a really long.
like with
time to
the
get it
Riva
off.
lightsaber.
No, I think it had to do mainly with contractual work. Chris Pine's doing something else. Gamora, not Saldana. I
Yeah.
forgot what her name.
Zoe.
Zoe.
I mean, Zoe Saldana was doing all of the Avengers movies, and now she's in Guardians of the Galaxy movies as well. So it's time for when people are available.
Hey,
So I did see a new trailer for Sylvester Stallone playing a superhero called the
Retired.
Samaritan.
a retired superhero.
Right, called the Samaritan.
I
thought it was gonna be dumb, but it looks kind of interesting.
I saw the headline. Never clicked on the link.
Have you seen this big argument that he's in about the Drago spinoffs? He's really upset about this. That
Why?
Ivan Drago, they're creating a new spin-off movie for Ivan Drago. And
I'll watch it.
and Sylvester Stallone said, when we made our initial like agreements, and I guess it was all just like gentlemen's agreements, nothing contractual, but they were never supposed to take that character and do something with it. It was, I don't know, it was some sacred thing with him, but you can find his tweets. He's very upset about this whole Drago spinoff.
Look, I get it. That was all in the Cold War times. We're not at. I mean, we're almost back in it now, but yeah, dude. You
No
gotta-
conspiracy
to thi-
theories, man. Come on.
To think
Let's-
that a character that was
Conspiracy theory, it's
developed in
the
your
Mandela effect.
Right?
to think that your character, that a character you develop for a movie can't have a life outside of his own just because you want to focus the whole thing on your character, that's retarded. And mind you, it's fucking 20 years later.
Well, he was okay with the Apollo spinoffs.
Yeah, because Apollo is a hero. It's just like Apple's okay. So Apple's okay with any TV show, movie using their phone as long as it is only used by a hero. Cannot be used by a villain.
What do the villains use? Samsung?
Anything else? Anything
Who
but
eyes?
Apple will not. Apple will not allow villains to use their phones
Kyocera's?
in their movies. It
I've
is.
never
dumb,
heard of
but
that.
I haven't either. Somebody needs to
That's how you know.
fact check that.
That's how you know
Fact check
Karen. Go fact check it. Get back to me. Get at me, brah. I think it would be interesting.
Oh,
It
damn.
would be kind of like who's that dude? Ivan
Drago.
and Iron Man
Literally.
2? The dude with the whips?
Oh, you mean what's his name? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah. That would be like Marvel having a movie about Mickey Rourke's character because he's tied to the Iron Man. And then having RDJ be like, you can't do that. Dude, how you guys, you're saying that nobody else exists outside of your peripheral vision? Dumb. Get over it.
Well, what if our DJ did say don't do that?
Dumb. Get over it.
Kevin Feige might say, need to pay
Is
some homage.
RDJ gonna move? If RDJ is gonna come back to the Marvel universe, you could take it under consideration. But if he's done and retired and not gonna be in any Marvel
I
movie
think we'll
ever
see him
going
again
forward,
at some point.
Yeah, he's going to blackface and become Black Panther.
Speaking of Black Panther,
Yeah, we.
The
Mike found
leaks
news
the
on
leaks
that.
are out.
the leaks are out.
That didn't take long.
damn game companies.
But
You know, it's always Lego.
guess who's gonna make an appearance in Black Panther?
White Lightning.
No, we're going back to our Creed guy. Michael.
B. Jordan, Killmonger, will show up in Black Panther.
You knew if he was going to bring
As
that
in a
up, it was
flashback?
Michael.
No, as in helping Shuri become the Black Panther.
Oh, well then there you go. Even though she's technically not. Well,
What do you mean?
because Michael B. Jordan had a right to Black Panther because he's the
But
second
he's
son.
dead.
But he's coming back. So is he coming back in a dream walk?
The ancestral plane.
Yeah, he's coming back. My guess is it'll be a Killmonger from another plane. Would be my
multiverse.
guess. Yeah,
That solves every problem.
It
Dude,
does.
I told you.
It
I
literally
brought that up
solves
last week.
every-
It's
every
very
issue.
convenient now. Anything
I
Marvel
told
wants
you.
to do, it's like, we need to
And
bring
DC
RDJ back. All right.
Hey, Kevin Feige, I think it was us that talked about this, that ever since Endgame, it's kind of felt like Marvel's just kind of been flailing, like kind of putting continuity together has not been real good for them, which is weird because that's something that they've kind of excelled at. But Kevin Feige apparently came out and admitted that Phase
4 is a mess.
is that what it was Phase
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
Phase 4 was a shit show, and he admitted it apparently.
That was just the money grab phase. Let's just put a
Yeah.
bunch of movies out.
And-
Let's put a bunch of shows out.
Well, you could see by all the way that they're lining everything up that they're going to build some continuity into that Phase 5 and Phase 6. They're going to get back on track.
Yeah, I think they will.
Get back to the formula.
Well,
It'll be interesting to see.
they have so many
how they
projects. That's what worries me is like, even with Star Wars, it kind of worries me. Like Star Wars, Marvel, they both have they're both approaching like 20 projects that are going to be released over the next 2 or 3 years. That just seems like a lot. You know, it just seems
That
like
means low
it's
quality.
it's quantity. And sometimes they get good and they roll the dice and they get a banger, but it
It's just
it
like
would
any movie, though.
yeah, but companies aren't just dropping 20 movies in 2 years or 20, you know.
Yeah, but look at the size of them compared to other companies.
So it would be like saying, okay,
like to do
we dropped
that.
Harry Potter 1 and 2, and then in the next 2 years we're gonna have Harry Potter 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the over the course of 3 years.
Not
Unless
even
you're
close to
shooting
that.
back to
That
back.
wouldn't make sense.
No, that's a terrible analogy. That's not a good analogy.
Okay,
They
It's
have to let the
not.
story brew.
There's
You
so,
can't do that.
listen,
I didn't
there's
finish the
so
analogy, so it
many-
can't be terrible. You didn't even let me
It's-
finish it.
No, here's the
That
thing.
can't be terrible, you didn't even finish.
Harry Potter is about one little midget wizard. That's it. That's it. It's his story.
Right?
Marvel has got a whole universe of superheroes that they haven't even scratched the surface on all of them yet. Like, they're not even getting there. Like, there is so much content to pull from in the Marvel universe, whereas the Harry Potter universe doesn't. They've got how many ever books they have, and that's how many books they have. But they've got literally thousands upon thousands of comics that they're pulling from in the Marvel universe. It's not a like.
Again, I
comparison.
wasn't finished giving it, so
Finish
it
then.
doesn't matter. No, I'm good.
That's
He's
what I
good.
thought. That's
He's
what I
good.
thought.
Out.
I did
Go,
read
let's go.
I read an interesting article on the Hulk, like why the Hulk is kind of a weird character in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, you know, the Hulk character is still under contract from Universal. And so Disney does not, Universal actually seems to have a bitterness towards Disney, and they're not letting anybody
wonder why.
shoot a Hulk movie. They are letting them use them, you know, in little bits and pieces, like, of course, as a whatever movies, and as long as it's not his own movie.
And
but,
just standalone.
Yeah. So I don't know how much longer that goes where Universal is going to own that. But I guess it was like when Marvel was more kind of at a desperate time and just trying to get money for different characters. You know, like they made a bunch of characters went to Sony. I don't know who else Universal got, but Hulk was the big one, obviously. And yeah, Universal is just kind of holding on to that. And I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Universal, Hulk.
Well, you know the Kevin Norton or Ed Norton Hulk
Yeah.
is that is the same Hulk played by what's
Mark
his name?
Ruffalo?
Yeah, that's
The different actor.
What's that? Yeah, it's just different actor.
it's a-
That's canon. Like that's his origin story.
Yeah. Because yeah,
Wait, so
his
does he
nemesis,
make it into the
hi-
new Thor movie.
his enemy in that old Hulk movie is gonna continue to be in Marvel movies. The same guy.
Yeah. Terrence,
What
what did you
is-
say? Were you asking if Hulk was in the new Thor movie?
Yeah, did he make it to the new Thor
Uh-huh.
movie?
They actually didn't have, outside of a brief appearance by Guardians, they didn't really have any crossovers that showed up.
Yeah, and the Guardians showed up as a. Oh wait, they showed up in the very beginning, right?
Yeah, like right at the beginning of the movie for like a 5-minute scene, and that was a wrap.
Because at the end of Endgame, they were like taxiing him around, right?
Yeah,
That's 6.
you got me.
That's number 6.
Was it number 6? It wasn't really number 6, was
Yeah.
it?
You had a couple little subtle ones in there. You probably didn't even realize you were doing it.
No. Now I'm trying to be conscious of it and not do it.
You know what? You know what yawning
Go ahead
is.
and ask it.
You know, no one ever believes this. Yawning is just the fact that you're not breathing deep enough breaths. And every now and
Yawning is
then you
sign
do a
that you have
yawn.
Low oxygen level.
Yeah, every now and then you do a yawn to make up for your shallow breaths. Fact check that, somebody. All kinds of
I
people.
learned that.
All
I
kinds of
learned that
people
when
in
I
the
was
live chat.
hospital. I literally learned that when I was in the hospital. They're like, oh, I was like, oh, I must be tired. I'm just yawning. They're like, you're yawning because your blood oxygen level is like at 81 and it's supposed to be like at 98. was like, but I'm
I have a
pretty
nurse
tired.
that I
But,
can
like,
ask silly questions to, and that's the question I've asked in the past.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it,
just
is that a fact?
Yeah,
Is that a true fact?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
It's your body's way of getting mass amounts of O2 into your blood.
So you all are basically breathists and making me feel bad because of the way
But that's why it happens when you're
don't breathe
tired.
enough.
No, when you're tired, you don't breathe. You go into slow breaths. But the weird thing is, so like I was gonna do everybody's been telling me to go get a sleep study to do the sleep apnea thing, and I tried one. I felt like I was choking. Like there was like too much air coming into my face. I'm like, nah, there's too much. Get it off.
Right,
I
so
don't
what
like-
I'm
definitely
saying is
think
people
you
need
need
to
to-
start yawning when they're tired.
You definitely need to, as a former roommate of yours, you definitely need to get checked for that sleep apnea.
I'm just saying.
Dude would make me nervous. All of a sudden, the whole house would get quiet. I'd be like, "Is he alive?" Yeah.
Look,
That
man,
dude's-
I go through
wow,
some things.
sleeper. You definitely should go. Do
I freaked
that.
out. Oh, what the hell?
What is that?
Where?
That
just
is
happened
not
there?
supposed to be that color.
What happened?
Oh, I think.
Something just
No,
happened on his background.
Oh, your Camp
I-
8 logo changed.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be red, not copper.
You
Oh.
need to practice your OBS skills.
It looks like a wee little.
Oh,
guy.
you mean that wasn't like a sticker or picture in the background?
No, it's
It's an overlay.
graphic.
Oh,
I forgot what it is to keep the form when I stretch this.
Hey, what's the latest on your spinoff? Your possible morning podcast spinoff?
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, what's up with Mike in the morning?
He hasn't
in the
come to
morning.
me to ask how to do it yet, so I don't think he's tried.
no, I'm
Yeah, there you
waiting
go.
on. I'm getting text messages from the wife to mentally prepare me that we have laundry to put away after this show's over. She knows that if I walk in and there's laundry to put away and I'm not mentally prepared to it, that stuff's getting put off till tomorrow.
'Cause
it's-
that's why we
listen.
had a pool table.
Hey, before you go do laundry, watch a couple Andrew Tate videos.
Oh, that guy.
Dude, so you know what the messed up part is? So I sent one video out to him because I thought the content of it was funny, but apparently he's a thing. Like it was like, oh, you're like, I'm like, no, I don't
He's
know who
a
Andrew
recent
Tate
thing,
is.
isn't he?
I don't know. I sent one.
You
Andrew
sent that
Tate
video about
he's like,
depression, right?
Yeah, about the depression one, and they're like, well, you could be like Andrew Tate, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. He's like, you sent the video. I'm like,
Gotta be careful
which
about
one?
what you're sharing.
Yeah.
Look, man, the
don't
content
know.
is what I care about, not the person.
No, I mean a lot of his content is that way. I mean, it's just spitting out, like old school stuff, right? Like in the 80s and 90s, well, maybe not the 90s. In the 80s, yeah, depression wasn't a thing. You got over it, right? Oh, a family member died, okay, now get over it. Your girlfriend left you, get over it. You got to move on with your life. Now it's like, oh, poor thing. Let's get you in therapy. Let's give you something to talk to. Like one of the videos I liked about one of the Tate videos I like is when he's talking about Robin Williams, and he's like, you would think that Robin Williams, this guy was on top of the world. He had it all. He success, women, whatever, but he still took his own life. And then you find out like he spent 12 years in therapy. So it's like, okay, this guy's going to go to a therapist 3 times a week and just talk about all the things that are bad in his life. And now you're like wondering why he took his own life. It's like, you can't just harp on that. You can't harp on the negative things. Just got to move on like we did in the 80s.
I say yes and no.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he doesn't have some valid points, but I'm with Terrence. Yes and no with that guy.
There's a look. Of the people that I know of, I'm probably the
Funny.
last person to ask for help for something. Mike knows this. I'm last person to ask for help, like serious help. It's because we grew up, we didn't ask for help. It's literally like moving to Phoenix. If you can't make it in Phoenix, don't leave Sierra Vista. If you can't make it there, if you can't make it on your own, you can't make it at all. You know, it's kind of like the whole if you can't be comfortable or be by yourself, what are you going to bring to a relationship? We were brought up in that environment. Do I wholeheartedly agree that applies now? No, because if one of y'all got mental issues going on, yeah, I expect one of y'all to come up and say something. But I understand that it's going to be very difficult for people to actually do that. But I don't see a problem with people going to go see a therapist. Some people just need to talk it out. Some people need to, as a DJ, mix for an hour. Some people need to go ride their motorcycles at balls to the wall speeds or go hiking for an hour, exhaust themselves out. They have
Profession
different
has
ways
been
of
around
people
for a long
releasing that.
time. It works.
Yeah, releasing that pressure valve that everyone has in their minds is a good thing. You don't have to keep it bottled in, because when you have it bottled in, that's when you get. I'm not going to say what you get because this is that podcast and we can't talk about that. But you get more drastic things happen than what we see nowadays. I'll leave that down.
I think I don't disagree with that.
No,
I
something's
think-
different nowadays. Something's wrong nowadays.
Yeah,
You're
kids are
saying
eating
things are
iPods.
better nowadays? You think things are better?
No. I said therapy. People going to therapists now are better. So think of it this way: we are adults that grew up with be a man. You can't be a man's man. We don't talk about our feelings. We bury it down now. Now take that same mentality as an adult and apply that to your kids that you now have to deal with. You didn't have kids back then, and that mentality that we had, you can't apply that to your kids. I mean, you can try to, but the world is pushing a different set of values on them. So now you may need to go sit and talk to a therapist like, yo, my kid is doing this and I don't know what's wrong with them. They're eating Tide Pods. I don't get it.
Yeah, but you don't think that our parents sat and had this same conversation amongst themselves looking at younger generations? I mean, this is going to be an ever revolving story. Us old hats are always going to talk about what's wrong with the world today instead of taking a moment to pause and look at what's right at the world today. Like, we could talk about all the things that we don't like here and there, but same conversation happened with our parents, where our parents talked about all the things that we don't like. It's
What
like,
the hell are
look,
those
man,
kids listening to?
But listen,
This sounds like gibberish.
I'm going to use how I use social, for example. If I were to rewind myself 8 years ago and how I used social 8 years ago versus how I do today, I'm much more healthier today than I was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I was not mentally healthy. I got very caught up in this election cycle and that election cycle and F the police and this, that, and all the other trash. And finally, I was just like, this isn't healthy. I stopped watching news, and I just committed myself to creating positive content. I'm a big believer what you consume is what you produce, right? Like, you'll hear me talk about this a lot. What you consume is what you produce. So if you're consuming shit, you're going to produce shit. If you're sitting around watching and listening to, pick a station, any station, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, Max 1, 2, 3, and 4,
KRQ.
whatever the hell you're watching or paying attention to, and that is what you're feeding your brain on a regular basis, like, that's what's going to consume your mind. You're going to look at it and you're going to focus on the wrong things. I don't focus on that stuff. I don't listen to that stuff. I live in my space, and I try to focus on what I put out into the world is what the world will get back to me. So, look, there is a lot of good that happens in the world today that if you're not paying attention to it, you'll miss it, because we've got so many things that distract us and pull us away from the good to focus on eating each other and destroying one another and crushing one another that, listen, block that shit out. Move that stuff out. Like, Tate, I could take some of Tate's lessons. I could do without some of Tate's lessons. Some of it, and again, it's how I consume what he has to say that'll make the impact on me.
So
this is
you're
my-
saying you take the good, you take the bad, and that's the way you get the facts of life?
No, I just filter out what I don't need.
I get it. That's exactly the same thing.
If
Take
it
the
doesn't
good.
provide, if it doesn't elevate me, if it doesn't keep me moving forward, if it
doesn't
doesn't
help,
provide value,
There's no point in having
then
it.
why spend any more time on it than necessary?
I agree with you on that. That's what I said. Something I think therapy can work for a lot of people,
Sure.
even us old heads.
Well,
But it depends on your
especially some
life
of us old
circumstances.
heads. Absolutely.
I mean, because some people just, I don't know. I see it as some people need more than therapy. Some people need activities. Some people need to just talk. Some people may just need to write it in a blog or a journal or do a podcast about it
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just need to fart.
or cook. I was amazingly, I found that cooking was very therapeutic for me. Like all those years that I lived with Tom and Mike, we would barbecue, but I never realized like cooking and like doing seasoning and actually, making a dish or a product was very therapeutic. It was very stress relieving.
You cook for your mom, or does your mom cook for you?
That's a touchy
Oh,
subject.
I feel like we hit a sore subject right there on accident.
So here's one of those things. You know how I grew up in the house of you eat what's put on your plate and that's it, and you eat everything. And we made such a big meal. We're not cooking tomorrow. You're gonna eat leftovers.
Yeah, me, you, and Joey all had that problem.
Now it's
Yep.
I'm gonna eat leftovers. Okay. And then I come in and it's like, why are you eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Or a little fiber muffin. I'm like, you're not gonna eat these leftovers, are you? And so they're literally just filling up the refrigerator. And then I'm like, okay, you're not gonna eat it, I'm gonna eat it. I eat 2 meals a day. I eat a lunch and I eat a dinner. My mom eats nibbles 1 meal a day. So when I eat 2, she's like, you're just eating up all the food. I'm like, everything I was taught as a child, like you don't just throw away food, don't squander at leftovers. I'm like, oh, now you're just bougie. Oh, you're too good for leftovers. So
I mean,
I cook a lot of things and I will let her sample them, but I know nothing that I make her is going to be bigger than, let's say, this notebook. That's it. It's going to fit in a tiny little cat dish type bowl, and that's going to be it. And yeah, I've had to temper down when I cook because I like a little bit of spice, not a whole lot, just a little. And now she doesn't like spicy. My basic Camp H is like, ooh, that's just spicy. You just use that on everything. I'm like, yes, I do.
where'd you come up with the name Camp 8?
The movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Go watch it. There's your homework. So when they get sent to prison, when they get to prison, they're at Camp 8. Tell them about the gun line.
Oh, okay.
So during an annual, I was on the grill and I had all the girls. I had Vanessa and Photo's wife there, and we were actually Vanessa was somewhere else, and I had Photo's wife and somebody else there. We were just talking shit, on the sides of the bay doors. I was on one side, they were on another, and we were just talking shit. We're like, oh yeah, we work around here at Camp 8, tell them about the gun line, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody just was like, yeah, well, I'm getting those Camp 8 steaks, blah, blah. Magic's got that Camp 8 going on doing the seasoning. I'm like, I guess I'm just going to keep Camp 8. Plus, I love that movie. That's a movie that comes on right now. I'm watching it.
I'm like that with Drumline.
Oh, of course. Ironically enough, Drumline was on the other day, and I was like, oh, I should help Mike.
And that
Hey.
way with home videos.
We're gonna have to delete this episode so Terrence doesn't get sued for copyright infringement or
Of
trademark
what?
for
What
stealing
am I
Camp 8.
trademarking?
Yeah, you just
Camp 8 is
admitted that
not
that's where you're
part
gonna
of a
name
trademark
that.
of. There, no. It's not
do
part
your
of a.
homework on
It's
that?
not part of a thing.
They'll
Yes,
find a way.
Actually, I did. I actually did. It is not part of a. You can't. You campaign. The term campaign is actually listed on so many other things that. Like, there's a Camp 8 that's actually just a campground. There's like
7.
10 right there.
Hey, what was on that little notebook that you held up? Is that your journal?
Actually, this is my seasoning. This is my little notebook when I was making Camp 8. I just kept jotting it down on paper, and I was like, I need to put the Camp 8 seasoning and marinade, like write it actually down.
You don't have that in a
So
safe,
that
huh?
way, not in a safe. It was just I wrote it down so I could put it on my Microsoft Notes. So that way, when I make a change or update to it, I can just add it in there. Plus, my phone kept dimming when I was making it. I was like, damn it, I forgot which step I was on.
Hey, just
So
real
I was
quick,
like-
though, if you're watching us right now, hit that subscribe button. Since you're here, you might as well, so you know next time when we're on.
A quick question: how many of you are watching our stream on your phone right now?
I
I
am
am.
not. I actually,
Me?
I will do so,
So that's
later.
2. Joey, are you watching it?
You guys have it muted?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't show as a view if you've muted
If
it.
it's muted?
Yeah.
Oh. So we actually
Wait.
have 4 legit watching right now?
We got up to
Of
6.
course. Yeah.
What's
look at
our-
Wait, you said it
what's our
doesn't count if you
subscriber
mute
count?
it?
The
Seven-
same as
we're
it's
still
been
at
for the
70.
last month.
Oh, we're at no. That's 2 up. Last time
Oh,
I
it
looked,
is?
we were at 68.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hold on. You said it doesn't count if you mute if you have it muted?
Yeah.
The,
It's like a 3% increase.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
We got 3% better week over week.
so what's the real homework?
This
Oh,
week,
thank you.
find
Eric.
a
I appreciate
series
that.
for us to come back and talk about.
Yeah.
Listen,
Banshee.
if you find one this week, throw it in the chat. And
So
again,
that's our
you all
homework is to
keep
find a badass TV series for us to all
something
watch.
that we can all get into.
Has everybody watched the new Star Trek already?
No,
We
I
should,
can't get in.
Okay.
We should do a rewatch series then. Not one that's
I think
ongoing.
There's enough out right now though, because it's summertime, Terrence, that we can definitely find a new show.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. That's a problem. There are no new shows.
There's a bunch out.
Yeah, there's a ton of shows.
That are not
we just haven't
reality
discovered
TV.
it.
Well, lots of reality at this
Wait.
time of year for sure.
Did
That
anybody
intense.
get into Valhalla yet?
Valhalla? No.
Vikings? No. Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, I got into Banshee.
Good show.
Banshee reminds me of the old school when Cinemax was known as Skinemax, because so far, within the first 15 minutes of the first 4 episodes, somebody's getting their back blown out. Like, just
Listen,
there.
They've got free internet sites so we can go to watch that kind of thing.
Yeah, but you don't get to see, Homelander not as an asshole, so to speak.
A bank
That
robbing
was the
sheriff.
interesting about it. I mean, that's what it came down to. And I realized that some of these other video clips I watched was actually Banshee in season 2 and 3 and 4. There's only 4 seasons, so. And I think this first one's only 8 episodes, 8 or 10 episodes, so it should be pretty fast to go through. What about the new She-Hulk? You excited to peep that out?
When is that coming out?
I think this month.
Actually, this month.
Yeah, Andor comes out this month too.
Oh, it does?
Andor's at the
I know
end of the
something
month.
happens on the 3rd.
She-Hulk is coming out maybe this week.
Wait, Andor
think it
coming
may
out
be
for my
this week.
birthday?
Let's see.
Fact check crew.
No, when's your birthday?
August 29th.
Ah, yours is right around mine.
She-Hulk.
What day's yours?
Date. August 17th.
23rd.
Oh, wow. I have a
Mine's the
feeling I knew
23rd.
that,
My
though.
mom's is the 31st.
Oh, I Am Groot comes out next week.
Is that a cartoon or is that a
I
live
mean,
action?
I don't think it's cartoon. I think it's cartoon.
I was gonna say because they have the
It
Groot
looks like
cartoon.
claymation, actually.
So
Okay.
CGI.
Yeah, it looks like some sort of CGI.
What's the two things he says?
I am Groot.
And then what's the other thing he said?
Oh.
This is
I am
actually going to
Groot.
be. This will actually be a pretty decent month. Because we'll have. It looks like
Give us the
Andor's into
forecast.
September 21st. We got I Am Groot August 10th.
Okay.
The following week is She-Hulk.
Okay.
Andor September 21st. House
That's
of
not
the
August.
Dragon.
Oh
Is
yeah.
anybody in Game of Thrones? August 21st.
I'll
watch
give it a
that.
go.
Okay. I'll check it out. As long as the dragons are prominent right off the beginning.
And backs are getting blown out.
Back down.
Yank,
Let's
yank.
see. New series in August.
Are you on tvguide.com?
TiVo.
I'm on Google.com.
No, that's a good one.
You think?
7 new Netflix shows in August 2022 and reasons to watch. The Sandman comes
Sounds
out this
good.
week.
Sounds scary.
Comic
It's
book
got
movie.
Patton Oswalt. Yeah.
Patton Oswalt. I've seen him live.
Untold.
Haven't heard
That's
of
a
that.
documentary.
Yeah.
Never Have I Ever with Mindy Kaling.
Never or never?
Never Have I Ever.
Oh,
Never.
Season 3.
Sorry.
Lost
You know where I went with that, right? Joey, where did you go?
NSA was knocking on his door, I think.
Come back.
Yeah. Nothing that's grabbed me there.
He pulled a
Joey just
Cremo.
bounced and was like-
He pulled a
He
Cremo.
did.
Let's see this one. Hey, have any of you watched I think it's actually on where'd Joey go?
5 minutes behind. We've been talking about that.
Did he fall off?
Nobody knows.
There was some bad storms in Evansville. There he is.
Oh, that's true.
Has
Yeah, he
anybody
was saying that
watched
some bad
the-
stuff.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
the
maybe we talked
rain is
about this.
ridiculous. The thunder and lightning.
We talked about this. It's on Apple TV, this show about you go to work, when you get to work your brain
Severance.
Severance. Did you watch that?
Yes, I am. I think I am 1 or 2 episodes prior to the end.
Ooh, here's something that could appeal to me. Industry. It's in season 2.
What
Season 2 of
network?
the drama
Apple?
series
Apple?
Industry. Nope, HBO Max.
Which end is it? Is it the that kind of
No,
industry, or
returns
would-
following the story of a group of young bankers in a high pressure environment.
I'll check it out.
I could
Okay.
Lock and Key. Did anybody watch that?
I tried to. That was very slow.
What was
Very
it?
slow for me. But Lock and Key, LOCKE. Apparently,
Lock
there's
Key.
I
like
liked
4
it.
seasons of it.
I liked it.
Oh. A League of Their Own is coming August 12th. The
Oh.
series, A League of Their Own.
I can't hear or
So-
see Mike, by the way.
Here's
A
the
League
thing
of
with
Their
that.
Own.
He can't see you either.
Oh, you can't see
He's
me?
blinded by the light.
Oh.
But here's the thing with that. So based on the series or the trailer, they're going to turn the entire League of Their Own story on its head. Because you know how the 2 girls or the 2 women are sisters and whatnot? That's out the window. They're bringing in a black woman. They're pulling it from the factory, the Women's League, all that. Like the entire like origin story of how the original movie started, they're I guess changing that all up.
You know where that
Retcon.
movie
I guess
was
they're keeping
filmed?
this. So what?
You know where that movie was filmed?
Milwaukee.
Evansville.
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 Hey, Joey,
Kick
can you hear
ass.
me? He can't
And
hear
that
me, can he?
stadium's still there. It's so cool. Bossy Field.
You guys are in different universes.
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
You're in the
So you can-
multiverse.
Tell him that I said Evansville before he
Well,
said
it's time
Evansville.
to wrap up anyway. So.
Mike
He
said,
said
Evansville.
before
You did.
you did.
Oh, we
Joey.
did.
Yeah.
This
He
is
said
really
Joey
funny.
didn't.
We should do a whole show like this and see if we can anticipate each other's
You
commentary.
finish each
Yeah,
other's
come to one
sandwiches.
of our live casts with Cremo, and that's what you're doing. You're having conversations 5 minutes apart. Like, dude, what the hell? That's why you just tell them.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That's not what an ally would say.
But that's what. Oh, I don't. Oh, do I have one here?
Joey already gave the subscription advisory
Like, share, and subscribe.
comment.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, if they're not. Yeah, that stuff.
Tell Joey I love him and I miss him.
Terrence has a message for you from Mike.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, that's what Mike said.
Okay.
I can't
Actually,
believe
Mike said,
I gotta barbecue your ass in molasses.
you actually had a
Holy
sound
wait,
bite of
Mike,
it.
Mike, I just realized that Mike has a Burt Reynolds laugh.
I don't even know what the hell that means. Oh,
So
hey.
you just laughed, and this is Burt Reynolds laughing.
That is pretty funny. Hey, have any of you guys ever watched Ghost?
Yes.
Power?
Okay.
Ghost. Power sucks.
Yeah. So let's go
Power's
ahead and
great. Ghost sucks.
yeah, do this.
Power, I think, is a detriment of
Somebody
society,
that
just
can
like
hear
Empire
everybody.
was.
Take us out.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're gonna wrap it up for this episode. We appreciate
call
your
it a night.
patronage. Appreciate your I don't know what we appreciate.
Bing bong.
But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment down below, share this video with your friends and family. Make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you are immediately notified as soon as we go live for our next broadcast, which will most likely be next Monday night, unless the NSA subscribes and takes over the channel. But with that being said, we'll catch you guys next Monday night. Peace out,
Anything
everybody.
to Take away from that.
The best there is.
Let's cross over the universe.
Excellent.
Good night, Renee. Good night, Big E.
All right,
Very
guys.
good.
Thanks for chilling.
Bye, Joey.
Like a villain.
Somebody
Bye,
tell me I
Joey.
said
and
bye.
your bye, multiverse, Joey.
Multiverse Mike.
Yeah, wait, which one's
Bye,
in the
Mike.
multiverse? Joey or Mike?
You know what's funny is I can hear
Well, I'm
Joey.
the one that
he just
left
can't
and
hear
had,
me.
and the other one came back.
Oh, so that means Joey's in the multiverse.
He's a
Because
variant.
Mike can hear us, and Mike